Gaming reviews done quick. We're activating Witch Time on the 1 Minute Rundown. I'm OC Trinity, your host, and the shadow remains cast, because this time we're running down Bayonetta. That's a 2-game series chronicling the adventures of the Umbra Witch. It's a sort of spiritual successor to Devil May Cry since they share a director and themes involving angels and demons, but whereas Dante was intended to be the embodiment of stylish and cool, Bayonetta instead personifies fashionable and sexy, all while delivering a similar style of over-the-top combo-oriented action, with many finishing moves involving torture devices or literal demon summoning. Bayonetta can equip multiple types of weapons on both her hands and her feet, each of which changes her base attack but allows follow-up attacks by holding the attack button. She's also got some time manipulation abilities which kick in after narrowly dodging an attack and can transform into a few animals as extra mobility actions. The series got a lot of critical praise but not a lot of commercial success. Let's see if either of those were deserved as we look into both games. Bayonetta has a pretty standard formula in that you'll traverse levels with waves of enemies and be able to shop for new items and abilities between and occasionally during levels. Every so often you'll gain a new weapon type, one that has multiple pages of abilities that will change based on whether or not it's on your hands or feet, and even more based on what weapon you paired it with. Each level is filled with extras, including secret arena fights, to the point that you'll probably need a second or third shot at the game to find everything, and could see some self-imposed competition in trying for high scores. For the most part, I got what I expected. I just wasn't prepared for the depth of how many techniques Bayonetta can do. Towards the end of the game, though, it was clear there were some issues. There's a few cases where there's just too much happening at the same time to the point that you can lose track of your own character, quick-time events that barely give you any time to react, an accessory system so expensive it's unlikely to even be used during your first game, and a few levels that introduce new out-of-place mechanics that show up for one segment, then just disappear. All that said, though, I have no doubt fans of similar action games will enjoy this one. Bayonetta 2 is another one of those sequels that doesn't change its core gameplay too much, even featuring a lot of the same techniques. Instead, it just adds more features and fixes a few of the more serious flaws. About the only mechanical change is to the magic system, which now allows a choice between previous game's extremely powerful torture attack or about 5 seconds of the power form used in the first game's boss fights. Definitely a positive step. Instead, the game attempts to simply rebalance things, and for the most part it worked. In particular, the weapons this time around seem more interesting and flexible, there's a better variety of enemies, and a lot of the game's depth is easier to access without making the game feel unnecessarily simpler, as well as a lot more playable characters for the post-game. I found the boss battles where you're flying to be disorienting, and like before, feel like the endgame needs a little polish, but that's small complaints in a game where all those little changes made for a much better game in the end. On a side note, the number of similarities and in-jokes with Devil May Cry here seriously make me wonder if this whole series was intended to take place in the same universe. I can't be the only one, can I? And with that, I've completed my verse. The series creator has recently said he would like to make a sequel, but given that the games up to now have required some extra funding just to get made, it may not happen. That said, though, the series got a serious bump in popularity after Bayonetta appeared as a downloadable character in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, so it's certainly possible. Until then, though, these games aren't too hard to find or download, provided you have a Wii U in the first place, of course. Check back soon for the next 1 Minute Rundown. We'll follow up a series with a female lead with one that's consistently had 3 playable female characters. Until next time, remember, don't fuck with a witch. You know what? I like this song, and I like the video that's supposed to go with it, but it's missing something. Let's do this again as I think it should have gone.